Hey everyone, I'm Colin Bradley, and this is NekoTrace. It's a open telemetry based distributed trace collector and viewer. Basically, a place to collect all your fancy traces up and display them. I wanted this to be a free, easy to run, so just like a single exe. All runs in memory, no databases or anything required. The main reason for NekoTrace is to have a really nice and easy to use flame graph viewer for traces. This is, I find, a lot easier to use than the waterfall view, which is in a lot of trace viewers at the minute. So this is a very basic trace with only 3 spans, but you can click on each individual span or just hover over them to get information about them at the bottom. So I've zoomed in on this page, so it's not exactly the best layout, but there are different ways of laying this out. Really start to appreciate when you get even bigger traces like this one. So this one hasn't been recorded great because I've got this software in particular has come from my little home project for messing around with Spotify. So some of these spans aren't parented correctly, but you can see here they're all kind of laid out into different groups, and it's pretty easy just by clicking and dragging to move around the trace and see what's inside of it. So you can also zoom in and zoom out to get more information. It all goes based on where your cursor is. See these particularly thin ones, we can really zoom straight in and then eventually you'll be able to see what's inside of them. I kind of feel like this functionality really hasn't been in other viewers apart from Datadog. But this one has more features with the layout, which allows you to collapse the spans so they don't all group together necessarily, which can make it easier to view sometimes. You have features like being able to see the parenting of spans. So as I hover over it, all the parents get darkened. This can also render like up to about, I guess, like 500,000 spans at a time. It's all occlusion based, so it'll only render what you can actually see on the page at the time. There are a bunch of tips and things here at the top where you can see all the different controls. You can also export the traces inside of here, so they would come out into a file. If I just hit that, you can see there. You can then take that, give it to someone else, import it somewhere else. This just makes the app quite easy to share because it's all runs locally. You can set it up however you wish, so it's just a website that you can expose anywhere in your network. So this is the main table view for looking at all the traces. You got your start time here where you can specify a start and end time to filter things down to. The names of the individual root level spans of all the different traces. You can also add in extra columns if you want to see them. These are all the attributes that are the root spans of every trace. HTTP cross method, I guess, add that in. We go get a nice lovely column that you can order by. So these are all the post ones. You can filter by duration, min and max, the number of spans that are inside of it, whether or not there are any errors inside of it. Yeah, that's mostly it. So you can also color the spans based on your own rules. So by default, it uses OTel library.name, but depending on the library that you're using to export things, you might want to have a different one. So that's just where you pick that. You just put in the name of the attribute that will give you a unique identifier for each span. So with that, you could call them based on service or, well, however you want. All the information about all this that you've set up is all stored inside of the URL. So this forms a really big long URL with all your particular options at the top. The idea is that you could bookmark this and then come back to this page whenever you wanted. So there are spans. These are all the top level spans that have been gathered, and you can just click one and then find all the different instances of them. Again, you have all the same features that you do on the other pages, so you can add columns, filter, sort, all that kind of stuff. There is also a really basic implementation of metrics. So this also collects metrics and shows them. It's not really been a big effort of mine to implement this properly, but it's there, and I guess you can use it if you really want to. I think other open telemetry applications do this a lot better, and there'd be no reason necessarily for me to reinvent the wheel for that. Really, NekoTrace is just focusing on giving you really nice trace views, um, in a really nice, easy to use way. So yeah, I hope you like it. Thanks very much.